There are a lot of businesses that use CRM systems but still use spreadsheets for pipeline management and forecasting. So in this video, I just want to walk through why I think tracking pipeline through opportunities within Dynamics 365 for sales is better than trying to manage it within a spreadsheet. So the first aspect to it is, if I just go into the opportunities area here and I open up my test opportunity, this is all test data. And this is pretty much as it comes out of the box. But the first thing to say is spreadsheets are kind of okay if you're tracking a limited number of fields. But if you're trying to track quite a large number, then it becomes quite problematic because you end up sort of trying to scroll across the screen, sort of keep track of them all. So within a opportunity record within the system, we can pretty much have as many fields as practical and sensible to have, and we can have those of any size that we want. So in terms of sort of data capture, it's just going to work better on an opportunity record than it is on an Excel spreadsheet row. But probably more importantly are what I would call the additional data dimensions. So, okay, I've got the information about the opportunity itself, but here within my timeline view, I've got information about associated activities such as tasks, emails, phone calls, meetings. I've got all that dimension. I can just go into any of those activities and see the history of them, see what's written. I can sort of do that within Excel by having a field with some notes, but I'm not going to get the sort of level of detail that I'm going to be able to get on an opportunity record. Then I've got other dimensions here. I can track the associated products on this opportunity, the price of them managed through an underlying price list. I can track the quantity of items that the customer's potentially interested in. I can track the quotations that are related to this particular opportunity, as we may release multiple quotations and variations over time. I can see what files are attached to this record. And if I go back to my summary, I can see things like stakeholders, i.e. from the client side, who's involved in making the decision, who's involved on our side in terms of the sales team, and what competitors are involved. So I've got a lot of dimensions to the data. It's not just the opportunity record, it's lots of related information that's really relevant to the opportunity, but it's not something I can easily track within an Excel spreadsheet. The second point is, if you're tracking things in Excel, chances are you're just updating your forecast periodically. Within a CRM system, we've got the opportunity record. People can keep that updated in real time as things change, and you can report and analyze that data in real time. So you've got much fresher information when you're tracking it through an opportunity record. I think the third element that I particularly like is the business process flow function, which is this area depicted at the top here. So you can see I've got my out of the box sales stages. Obviously you would typically tune those to your sales stages, but within each of those, so I click on them, I can have a range of data captures to suit and to define the sort of information I need to be capturing at each stage of the process. I can even set those as mandatory. I can't move from one stage to another until I've completed certain task activities or filled out information. So it's really powerful. It really starts to control the sale and make sure the salesperson's positioning the sale at the correct stage. So that's that element. The fourth area which I'll touch on is just the range of tools that are available to me here. As you see here, I've invoked a sequence, so I can have predefined series of activities within the system. I've got access to sales literature. I can maintain sales literature lists with access to product catalogs and competitor profiles and white papers, etc. I've got the ability to auto-allocate opportunities to salespeople. I've got the ability to have lead scoring or opportunity scoring. I haven't got that turned on just because it's a pain to set up within the sandbox, but I can have an opportunity scoring area so I can see exactly what the system thinks the probability of this closing and what it thinks I need to be doing to improve that probability. So it's really powerful, the range of tools that you've got within the system. I've also got the ability to have predefined templates set up for emailing information out. So there's a lot of tools to help sellers become more effective. And then sat behind all this, though I can do charts and graphs and some degree of analysis on an Excel spreadsheet, you've got nothing to compare really with the ability to have, well, to be able to search the system by multiple criteria, to, very powerfully have filters that we can set up and manage, and be able to change the columns that are displayed, be able to maintain multiple different views of data, create my own ad hoc views of data to suit my particular needs, to show charts or related to the data I've got in the system, both ones I can have set up back into the system or I can create personally. I've got the ability to have dashboards, again, system dashboards, or dashboards I create myself. So I've got lots and lots of options for analyzing that data and managing that data within the system. A lot more options than I'm going to have on an Excel spreadsheet. The other thing that I'm going to lose if I try to manage things within Excel or try and manage opportunities is that whole journey that Microsoft allows you to do. So I've got the ability to track leads through the system, to convert leads to opportunity records, to have associated quotation records, to turn a quotation into an order, and from an order to issue invoices. I've got the whole of that end-to-end, that effectively that lead to cash process, potentially all manageable within the CRM system. And that's really, really powerful. It allows me to really analyze that sort of process, to manage it, to arrange the handoffs between different teams. I can see where the potential bottlenecks are. I can report on it. I can manage it. I can look at conversion rates, for example. So there's a lot of power in terms of managing that end-to-end process through the system. The other issue is if you're managing your data within an Excel spreadsheet, it's not, if you're managing your opportunity data within an Excel spreadsheet, it's not visible within the system. And we're not able to see that dimension of opportunities within the system itself. So, I don't know, hypothetical example. I'm a new business salesperson. I see an account record. I look at it, appears as if we're not doing anything with that particular organization. And I reach out and target them as a potential new client, not knowing that in the background, actually, we've got a very live opportunity going on with that particular client. So, that sort of faux pas is best embarrassing, but could be potentially catastrophic. So actually tracking that dimension of the opportunities within the system is really, really important. Problem is also spreadsheets kind of don't manage old opportunities very well. It's quite effective for keeping track of the ones we're working on at the moment, but perhaps they're lost or they become longer term opportunities. If we're just managing them in Excel, we haven't got that visibility within the CRM system. That's really potentially valuable data. The other thing I'd touch on, which goes back to that customer journey, is the potential for integration. If we're managing them in a spreadsheet, we haven't got the ability really to integrate into our backend. If we're managing it as an opportunity here, I can manage the opportunity through the sales cycle, and I can set up an integration into whatever my backend finance system is. So when we go to close it, effectively I can move that data automatically into the backend. That has a number of advantages. Obviously that minimizes the data input in terms of setting up orders, but it's a really effective way of making sure people do forecast potential opportunities, because that's ultimately going to be the only way you can get that into the finance system. So it's a really powerful way of getting user adoption. I think the last two areas really around about security. There are a number of ways you could potentially use spreadsheets. You could have people ultimately updating their own Excel template, and then somebody bringing that data together into one master spreadsheet, which Believe me, I've done it. It's incredibly time consuming. Or you could potentially have a shared spreadsheet and you've got multiple people trying to update that and keep that data maintained. What I think CRM allows you to do is it gives you much more control on security, which is certainly going to be an issue with the shared spreadsheet. So we can sort of really control who can see what data, who can see what opportunity data. And bear in mind, sort of opportunity forecast data is really sensitive data. So we can manage that through the security options within the CRM system. And CRM is a lot more robust in terms of being able to manage scaling. Spreadsheets might work with a handful of salespeople, but once you get up to, once you go above 5 salespeople, say, it's just not going to be a sort of viable option to try and have some sort of shared spreadsheet to sort of have multiple people working on it. So in summary, I think the reasons for using opportunity management is, I think from a salesperson's viewpoint, it gives them the tools that they need to sell more effectively. It helps them position their opportunities better. I think very importantly, from a sales manager's perspective, it gives them the depth of data for them to really validate forecast data and opportunity data, allows them to coach their salespeople, allows them to make sure they're positioning the opportunities the right way and with the right likelihood of them happening and the right timeline. And I think from a business standpoint, what that means is that you convert more opportunities to end business, and that's hugely leveraged, as we've discussed before. It means your average order value goes up, and it does mean you've got more reliable data to make the plethora of key decisions you need to make around things like resourcing or marketing or hiring or inventory management or production. Having sort of a good, strong visibility of future pipeline gives you the confidence and ability to make good decisions. Now, I say there are, it does make sense sometimes for small businesses to use opportunity to do their opportunity management within spreadsheets. But I think you quickly outgrow it, and you're going to find that managing them within opportunities within Dynamics is a much more effective way of doing things. Anyway, this is one in a series of videos we've done on Microsoft Dynamics 365 for sales, so feel free to check out the rest of the channel. Also, you've got the suggested content ideas, or you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, check out the links below. Anyway, thanks very much for your time today. Hopefully see you again soon.